Hello everybody, welcome back to Warriorline Media, where we like to build out some sample funnels for you, show you how to do it, show how easy it is to do, and then we also provide a free sample at the bottom in the description of each of our videos. So feel free to follow us along, learn how to do it yourself. They're all pretty simple landing pages. Or if you want to just take a shortcut, again, the link is in the description below. That'll give you this version of the landing page that we're doing today. Today we are going to go ahead and do a sample landing page for a yoga studio. You can go ahead and use this for any type of yoga studio, or you can adapt it for a CrossFit gym or any other types of gyms. Alright, so what the final result is going to look like this. So we're going to go ahead and start with a blank slate and go ahead and get started and show you how I created that landing page. It shouldn't take us very long. So go ahead and open up whatever funnel builder you have, or again, you can grab the sample I have in the description, and let's get started. When you go into ClickFunnels, you're going to see and go all the way to create a funnel. You'll go ahead and open a blank funnel. That's what we're using here. The only thing I did prior to starting this recording was I added a background to it, and you can get backgrounds from sites like pixabay.com. They're copyright free images that you can use on your websites. I would recommend going that route and not Google Images, because you never know in Google Images if there's a copyright on an image, which will get you in trouble down the road. So you want to use copyright free images from a site like Pixabay. What I did when I came in, went up to settings, background, and I just clicked this here and selected my image, and then that put my background in there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start the section from the top down. As I showed you before, it's one continuous group of text. So let me show you one more time so we have an idea of what we're looking to do. We're going to start at the top here and then work our way down with all the text. Put a timer in there, put a form in there for first name and email address, and then a submit button at the end to go ahead and connect to whatever autoresponder that you're using. So starting at the top, we're going to go ahead and create a new section. For this example, we're going to use a small, and then we're going to start up here. I'm going to give it a little bit of margin at the top by sliding this down. We're going to go ahead and change the background color. I'm just going to use a bright red for this instance. And then what I also want to do is, you see how it's square at the top here? I'd like to go ahead and round the top edges. Just gives it a little bit of a cleaner look for this example. So you go ahead and click on Advanced while you're in the section. And then click on the top here. I'm just going to use 25 pixel curve. And you see how it curved all four corners? We only want the top. So we're going to go to the edges here at the top. Instead of doing all, we're going to do top only. And that's the base that we're going to start with. And inside of here, we're going to create a row. And we only want one column row. The whole funnel or the whole lead page or landing page that we're going to do is just going to be one column all the way down. So we're not going to do multiple columns. We'll do a different example of multiple columns in the future. So you just click on one, and now that we have the column in there, we want to go ahead and add an element. When you select add a new element, you get all of these options, and we're going to use these throughout the funnel. Starting at the top here, we want to go ahead and actually use a sub headline. And what I'm going to use in here is essentially what this funnel is going to do is this yoga studio is offering free full access day passes for individuals to try and get them in the door, get them to experience the yoga studio. If they like it, they'll buy a membership. It's a chance to get people in the front door. They also want to limit it to only a certain number of people. So this headline on the top here is going to show the urgency that we have. So I'm going to say, hurry, only 9 passes left. So you see it by default, it's going to come in black. What we're going to do is, as as you saw, we created 3 sections here. We have a section which is the green, and then the row which is blue, and then the element is an orangish color. So you want to go down to the element, the orange, hit settings, and what we are going to do, we are going to change this color to white so it shows up a little bit better. We're going to go ahead and increase the font just a little bit, just so it stands out a little bit more. And there you go. Once you click off of that, it's going to show. We may adjust the margins a little bit. Let's get through the form first, and then we'll come back and do some touch-ups on the sides and see what looks the best. And now, since the next section is going to be a white color, we're going to go ahead and add a new section, the green. We're going to do again the small width. And you see it's already white, which is what we're looking for. Now we just have to add a row. Again, we're only doing 1 column. And then we're going to go ahead and add our first element, which this is going to be a little bit of bigger text. So we are going to use headline. And just in the interest of saving you all time, I'm going to copy and paste some of the stuff that I already have in there. So what we're saying is get your free pass. And what we want to do is we want to remove the bold on everything just so we can highlight the free and only keep the free in bold. And now that we have that way, we can actually change the color of the bolds by going into the settings for this, and you'll see text color is anything that's not in bold. Bold color is the free that we have there. So we want to use, what I'm going to do is use the same red so everything matches that I used up here. So now that kind of pops a little bit more. We also want to increase the size a little bit so it really stands out there. This is the first thing we want them to see. And then there you go. And now we're going to add a second element. This one is going to be a sub-headline. This is where you again want to stress that it's a limited time in this example. Let's see. Limited time offer is only available, claim it within the next, and this is going to lead into our timer. So again, click on a new element, and you're going to scroll down just a little bit here. There you go. You want to do countdown. Since there's a limited time here, since there's only a certain number of passes available, we're adding a timer that'll let whoever visits this know that, for example, this offer could be done on Friday at a certain time, and this timer will show that. So now once we have this in here, go ahead and hit settings again. And on this white background, I'm not really the biggest fan of this format, so what we are going to do is when you click on that settings, you go to theme in the middle here, and we're just going to select this option. Then we're going to go back to settings, and we're going to set the date. As I said, as an example, say Friday. Let's give it to Monday. Monday at 10 a.m. is when this offer is going to expire. Now you have the option here of once this expires, you can redirect them to another page by go ahead and putting a URL in here. Or once this expires, you can also hide certain elements, and we'll get down there. For example, you could hide the bottom section here, the form that they actually fill out. We're not going to do that right now. You can, once you have your copy, you can do whatever you want with that. So now, once we go live, this will actually count down to that date next Monday at 10 a.m. and it'll show the days, hours, and minutes, and so forth. I'm going to actually jump back up here, and what we want to do is we also want to highlight the only available now, kind of stress that, again, the urgency. And we're going to put that in bold just to kind of highlight that a little bit. And as we did before, to really highlight it, we're going to jump it out and have it go red. Again, non-bold is black, so we're going to go with a bold of bright red to match everything else. Now this is the intro going in. Because this is an offer, our next section we're going to try and make it look a little bit like a coupon. Make it contrast with the overall format that we have going on here, but also kind of blend in there a little bit. So in order to do that, we will go ahead and we're going to add add a new row. So you go ahead and click on the blue's for row. Again, single column. And the reason we are doing it this way with a new row instead of just a new element is so we can change the background color, we can put a border around this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, first of all, I'm going to add the text, add the form, add the button, and then we'll show the before, and I can show you the after once we actually have the coupon in there, the coupon formatting. So you click on add a new element. Again, we are going to do the headline. I'm going to copy this, again to save time. It's going to jump out there, claim your pass now. So you want them to stop thinking about it and jump in there and actually claim it. We're going to keep the format overall the same, but the one thing I am going to change is the format of the font size. Again, the two things we want them to jump out at them most of all is get your free pass now and to actually do that. Your call to action, claim it now. So now that we have that in there, I'm going to go ahead and do another element, and this is the form that we're going to fill out. We're going to request their first name and we're going to request their email address. So to do that, you go down to the input here, and we're actually going to do this twice. We're going to do two inputs. The first one, if you click on it, you'll see the input type is not set right now, so you want to go ahead and switch that to first name. And then the next one, you want to switch to email address. Actually, just realized I forgot to change the text in that, but we're going to change the email address, and you'll notice that required automatically goes to required when you want to enter your email address, because that's the main thing you're looking for. I'm going to jump back up to this first one. That was first name. I already set the input type, but I forgot to change what's in here. As far as you can see right here, you can change this to required if you want to. I typically don't. Usually the less fields you have for them required to fill out, the better chance, better conversion rate you have. If you start adding address and phone number, your conversion rate is going to go down. So the less they have to give, the easier it is to get their response. All right, now we have to add a button for them to click on once they're all done with this. So we go back there, add a new element, and the button option here. You'll see by default it is a rather generic and simple button. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I'm going to change the color. Again, to keep a theme, I'm going to have bright red. I do find that red and yellow buttons actually do have better results than a simple blue or green or any other button, but it all really depends on the theme that you're trying to follow. Alright, so now that we have that there, we want to go ahead and fill in the information for your button. So you go ahead and click on your button again, and you want to change the text for your button. So what I'm going to do, again, I'm going to copy from my other one, save a little bit of time. You'll notice the format of this is the real call to action. This is, yes, give me my pass. And a lot of the times you don't want to just say, yes, I want my, yes, click here or click here. You want them to actually, what they would be saying, give them the emotion of actually clicking, yes, give me my free pass. So that's why we word it that way. What we're also going to do is we're going to reiterate the limit, the scarcity effect. So in the subtext, we're going to go only 9 passes left. So it's up to you. You can reduce that as more people sign up. I would do, if you use urgency, make sure there is some sort of urgency, and it's not false urgency. So if you do false urgency too many times, people are just going to start ignoring the urgency factor. So make sure there is some sort of urgency in here when you do that. So now we have that created, we have the button. So what we want to do is set the action. And set the action, you have several options here. You can go to a specific website. For example, if you want to send them to a scheduling option, you can send them to a different website there. What I'm going to do here is submit form. What submit form does is once they enter their first name and their email address and they click onto that button, it's going to submit their information to your email autoresponder. and then that tracks it there, whether you use ClickFunnels, whether you use Drip or anything along those lines. ActiveCampaign is another good one that you could use out there, but we're going to go ahead and click on that. And now your button is set. Just so we don't have any issues, remember save early and often. We'll go ahead and update that all in a minute. Right now, how I mentioned before, we want this to contrast with everything just a little bit. We kind of want it to look like a coupon. So, and that's the reason why we did this extra row here. So what I'm going to go is I'm going to go to the blue row, and go to settings. And I'm going to go over to, actually I'm going to start here, and we're going to change the background color of this. You can change it to whatever background color you want. I wouldn't contrast too far. So what we ended up doing was we just went with a lighter tan. So I'm grabbing the code from the other one that I showed you earlier. Gives you a little bit of a tan, so it's a contrast. It shows that's a little bit different. And then once we go over to advanced, and we go to border, what we're going to do is do a dotted line border around it, kind of show like the old school coupon button or coupon page where you cut it out. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and click on full border. And then we're going to go, style is going to be dashed. And you can keep that size. And what you may want to do, you can either keep it black. I kept it black on this, but you could also do it like red to match everything else, to kind of give it a little more. I'm going to keep it black for this example. And then that kind of gives you that additional item, or that it just looks a little better if you make it look a little bit different than the top section here. And then the last thing for this that you want to do is down here at the bottom, you always want to have terms and conditions, your privacy policy, and some sort of contact link. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add another section. This one I'm actually going to do full width. And you'll see that full width, the short that we've been using only goes this distance, but full width actually goes the full width of a majority of the screens. This is the widest one that you can get. So I'm going to go ahead and add a section, and again we're going to do one column. And then I'm going to add an element, which is going to be we'll go ahead and use just a paragraph. We don't want this too big. You see it shows the gibberish in there. What I like to do is, again, I'm going to copy from my other one. And you just have to double click on it and type in whatever you want. This generic name, Yoga Lifestyle, all rights reserved. And what I'm adding is a terms and conditions page and a privacy policy, which aren't included in this, but to do that, actually we're going to go ahead and change the color first. That black blends in a little too much. So you do want them to be able to see it, so it's not too hidden. But you also don't need to have it large. I'm just going to keep that size. In order to add links to it, you just highlight the text that you want to link. Go ahead and click on that, and you put in the URL here for your terms and conditions page. What I also like to do is click this little button here. What that does is anyone that actually clicks on that link, it's going to open a new tab. So it keeps your landing page still there and available. A lot of times if people click on that and you go to it within this tab, they're not going to go back to your landing page. If you open a separate tab, then there's a better chance of them coming back to your landing page and actually filling it out. So terms and conditions, always on landing pages, you want to open a new tab, except for when you actually have them click this button. All right, so you do that, and you also want to do the same thing with your privacy. Highlight that. Oops, forgot to click this. Let's try that again. Highlight that. Hit the link button. Put your URL in there. Click on that, and you can always change the color of the font for your links too. It defaults to blue. So if you want to change that, just make sure you click in here and change it that way. And there you go. And this is essentially the landing page. The next few things that you want to do in here are all up to your style. You can go up to settings, click on SOE, and what this does is, again, you're going to have these default options here, especially if you select a blank page. The title is what's going to show up at the top here. Let's say yoga page, and you see how as I'm typing this it actually changes up here. So that's the title screen. Meta description, this is all, so it's SOE compliant, so it's not compliant, but it ranks better in search engines if you actually type in what you're going to do. I'm not going to leave that there or type anything in there. You can use that however you want to type that in. Keywords again, yoga, obvious ones. Author's name, we'll go with Lee. There you go. And then that's all you have to do there. Again, save and save and save. The last thing that we're going to want to do with this page is set up integration. Basically, when they click on this button, where's that information going to go to? You want it to go to whatever autoresponder that you're using. So what you're going to do is go to settings, click on integrations, and this screen is going to come up. You should have already integrated whatever your provider is for your autoresponder, and just go through the options. Click on here, select. You can either use the ClickFunnels internal autoresponder, or you can go through any of the other ones there, and then select the list. Lastly, save, and then you are good to go. As I mentioned before, what I'm going to do now that we've gone through and built this again, I'm going to go ahead and save it. I'm going to, down in the description below, I will add a link, so you can either go ahead through the process that we just did just to get some extra practice and build your own funnel, or you can go ahead and click that link below and you can grab everything for free, and you'll have it instantly. You just got it'll download automatically, and you can go ahead and change it however you want to change it. All right, I want to thank everybody for joining, and if you like this type of stuff, if you like me building out funnels, my plan is to build out a bunch in the future. Just click the like button below, subscribe. We'll have more coming out here. I'm looking to try and get a bunch out here in the next few weeks. So feel free to like us, click the link below, and leave any comments if you have any requests. If you want to see any specific niches, categories, leave a comment below. We'll go ahead and do that in the future. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.